Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, full disclosure, I understand that this glare is bothering you, so I'm just gonna look down like this, and hopefully that can, alleviate some of the annoyance of the glare. I'm dealing with a bit of a migraine right now because my room has been well lit for like the past couple of days, and I've just been like sitting in it. You know what? Let's just face it, guys. I'm getting old, man. Getting migraines and shit because my eyes can't handle the brightness. Oh, grandpa smack. Anyways, I've been gone. I know it's been past like 4 days since I've last uploaded, and I wanted to elaborate on that. It's a good thing overall. It's a blessing, absolute blessing. Thank you, God, actually. But I had 3 sponsorships all in the same week that I've been diligently working towards getting finished so I can get back on track with my upload schedule. So that's why I've been gone. And I think I've told y'all this before. I'm a very hyper focused individual that's able to focus on one task and get it done, but I'm terrible at focusing on multiple tasks at once, ADHD. So because of that, I just had something had to take the back seat, and it ended up being Honkai Star Rail. But we're getting through those sponsorships, which is real nice. And then now we're getting back on track. I wanted to talk about Gwen because her kit looks like one of the most cracked 4-star kits I've seen to date. She's looking very strong, and I want to go into the details on it. But they haven't revealed any numerical values yet, which is really annoying, a very cringe method that they tend to stick to. It is what it is. However, they did reveal enough for us to elaborate on with regards to why she's so valuable in my eyes. And I want to talk about that. And then, of course, once she releases, we can go into full-blown detail as to why she's so valuable. So let's get into that in today's video, and then that'll be breaking that streak of not uploading. and I can stop looking down like this. Let's get into it. Okay, so starting off with her trace. Let's go over these real quick. So her first one says her basic attack has a chance of inflicting enemies with a burn state identical to that applied by the skill. Since it says identical, unfortunately, I think that means it does not stack. It's only going to refresh the duration of the burn being on the enemy since it's identical. So that is a good thing because it enables skill point funneling so that you don't have to use her skill as often. If you're trying to keep the burn uptime going, you can just basic attack these units to refresh the uptime, which is really nice. So her kit off rip, just from that alone, is appearing to be skill point friendly. Moving on to the next trace. When the battle action begins, or I read that when the battle begins, Guinaifen's action is advance forward. This is actually more broken than people will probably give it credit for, and the reason being is on a sweaty level, this is very meta viable. When you're advanced forward, and I know the exact percentages, I just can't reveal them to you. When you're advanced forward on the first turn, that means she can go twice with the attack percent boot, right? So you put an attack percent boot on her, thus increasing her damage exponentially, but she's still able to go twice in that first turn, which if you zero cycle the first turn, now you go into the second turn, and you can probably incorporate a dance into that build, enabling her to go twice again on the second turn, and then GG's, zero cycle is done with. So I really like this trace from a sweaty level, but from a casual level, yeah, it doesn't bring much value. Now the third trace says deals more damage to burned enemies. That's just a damage bonus that's given to her if she attacks an enemy that has burn on their head. It's pretty straightforward. Here are her trace upgrade materials and her character ascension materials. By the way, I do also know the percentage of this, I just can't state it because it has not been revealed. The basic attack effect hit rate percentage is lower than the rest of her effect hit rate kit. So she has a really good effect hit rate kit, but the basic attack is lower. It's not as bad as Asta's. Asta, I think, has like a 60% chance or something. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen Asta's kit, but it's annoying when you have one particular move inside of a character's kit that doesn't have the same effect hit rate scaling as the rest of the kit, because then you have to play the roll the dice game, because you don't want to overly invest in effect hit rate for that one move that just isn't as important as the rest of the moves. You get what I'm trying to say? She has one of those basic attack effect hit rate chances. That's the best way to put it without spoiling or leaking anything that they haven't revealed themselves. Now, moving on to the talent, this is just showing her basic attack, which, by the way, I can appreciate. The little move at the end, she jumps up in the air. It looks better than Topaz's basic attack, that's for sure. Jumps up in the air, pops him in the head, and then catches the freaking spear like a performance. That's super sick. I'll give that a solid 8 out of 10, especially for a 4-star character. Again, shots thrown at Topaz's animations. I will forever do that shit. Don't give a damn if you're butthurt about it. Cry me a river, bucko. Now, benefits. While Gwen is on the field, there's a chance to apply Fire Kiss to an enemy after their burn status causes damage. While inflicted with Fire Kiss, the enemy receives more damage. Fire Kiss lasts for a set number of turns and can stack a set number of times. This is one of the most invaluable perks to her entire kit, because the way it is read is the same way Welt's is read, the same way Topaz's is read. That means this is separate from the additive damage bonus multiplier, and now it is another multiplier on the formula, thus increasing your damage exponentially, not only for her but for your entire team. And the craziest thing about this is it says they just have to be inflicted with burn for the effect hit rate chance to apply. Once we get to her skill, you'll understand why this is actually cracked for a 4-star character. But yes, just to imply again, this is very valuable because Sampo, his ult gives a multiplicative damage bonus to the entire lineup out there. It's a true AoE, but it only applies to Dot. Gwen's applies period to all damage that you're doing on your team, so that makes it a little bit higher in value. So let's go ahead and go over to the skill real quick. We'll go back to the technique. The skill is a adjacent AoE, right? So you do single target damage and then you do damage to the left and right of that target. She can burn all 3 of them. This is not even capable for Kafka. Kafka can only apply a dot to the single target and then she deals a little bit of lightning damage to the left and right. This girl can apply burn to the single target, to the adjacent, and, to the left and to the right, which is insane value. And that's why that Fire Kiss that I just told you about, multiplicative damage bonus, is so valuable, because that means she can now apply a multiplicative damage bonus to 3 freaking enemies on the field. That's very high value, and depending on the scaling, hypothetically speaking, if it was to be somewhere around 24%, if you were to stack all 3 stacks up, I think that would be kind of cracked for a 4-star character, guys. Okay, so that's pretty crazy. Also, what I like about her skill as well is because the set number of turns. If it can last 2 turns, again, that enables skill point funneling for the team. So if you're running somebody on a team like Kafka, who has to use her skill pretty much every single time, having somebody on the team who's not skill point greedy as a support is a good thing. Oh, and I almost forgot, the other invaluable thing about her skill is the fire dot. Dirt. She puts a fire dot on their skill. The multiplier for it looks insane, guys. And if you unlock her E2, it's pretty much dealing the same dot damage as Kafka, which is nuts, because she's a 4-star, man. I'm like, what in the, who at freaking Oyoverse is in love with Gwen, bro? This is insane. So she has a very high scaling dot damage, which means you stack a ton of attack on her, she's going to be doing some very impressive dot damage. Obviously, she's very synergistic with Kafka, but she's also very synergistic with Himiko. Himiko's been eaten, guys. All right, Topaz, now this girl. She's synergistic with Himiko because when they have burn on their head, they trigger the Fire Kiss, which is the multiplicative damage bonus, and then her dots deal impressive damage. So I am very impressed with this 4-star character's kit thus far. We're going to go over the ultimate and everything else, but everything I've seen so far, she's an invaluable 4-star character to pick up. Not just good for Kafka, she's good period as an alternative option if you don't have some of the most broken buffers in the game, such as Bronya, you know what I mean? So it's worth keeping in mind, or if you're not picking up Topaz. Finally, immediately attacks the enemy after entering battle. This is her technique, by the way. Deals damage for a set amount of times, with each hit dealing fire damage to a random single enemy each time, and a chance of inflicting Fire Kiss on the target. Again, a very broken technique for a freaking 4-star character. Like, bro, some of these are debatably 5-star type of ordeals. So the bad thing is she has to make connection with a hit for this technique to proc, which means when you run her with Kafka, you're not going to be able to use both of them. You got to use one or the other. So that's unfortunate. But on the bright side, her priority is going to be higher than Kafka's if you're going up against fire inflicted enemies, right? If they have fire inflicted enemies, she's going to have the higher priority because she's going to inflict that Fire Kiss on top of all of their heads. Now, the bad thing about it is it's RNG, right? So if there's 5 people on the field, chances are she can just hit only 2 people because it's randomly bouncing amongst the enemies. But the good thing is it's giving you that Fire Kiss multiplicative damage bonus immediately going into battle. So that's incredibly huge. Oh, also, if it's only 2 people on the field, you can very well get the Fire Kiss up to 3 stacks upon entering battle immediately. So yeah, a very good technique with that regard for 4-star character. Bad news is you can't use it with Kafka. You have to choose one or the other. So now we'll move on to her ultimate. This reminds me of my Twitch chat, man. I gotta see this again, bro. This is so, that is so freaking hilarious. God damn it. I probably should have just did this as stream content. Chat, I'm sorry, man. I've been busy as hell, guys. All right, y'all are with me in spirit here. Deals fire damage to all enemies, AoE. If the enemy is currently inflicted with burn, then their burn status immediately produces damage equal to a certain percentage of the original damage. She quite literally has a Kafka ult, except it's just for burn. And that is, again, that is just so cracked, man. So her and Kafka are just going to be freaking strong together, guys. And then she enables burns damage to stack. So she can put the 3 burn dots on their head with the skill, then pop ult, re-trigger it. And then when they go up, they get burned again. And again, the multiplier is incredibly freaking high. I'm so impressed with this character's kit. I'm just going to come out and say it. I've taken a gander at her Eidolons. Her E1 and E2 are very cracked. I can't wait to do a full-blown like overview of her kit so you guys can understand this. But like, good lord, she is just potentially a 5-star disguised character. I'm telling you. These are my overall thoughts of Gwen. I think she's going to be top of A tier bare minimum, debatably bottom of S tier in the tier list. And I do need to make myself an updated tier list. I'll probably do it once Topaz drops. But thanks for watching, you guys. Those are all my thoughts with Gwen. I am back, baby. We got a lot to talk about, and thank you for always supporting the channel. Take care. I'm out.